I was watching a YouTube video recently, and the content creator behind the screen was sharing some clothes that she had bought recently, a winter clothing haul. Naturally, everything she shared was bright, shiny, and new, and I distinctly remember thinking to myself, ooh, I could use one of those. And almost immediately, and independently from my own thoughts, I started surfing the web for something similar. And that's when it hit me. Why am I doing this? Do I really need that sweater? Unsurprisingly, the answer was no, and more surprisingly, when I stepped away from my laptop and went up to my closet to check what I did have, I found about 5 things that I already owned and loved way more than that sweater that I almost bought. Now, if I had been presented with this exact scenario a few years ago, the outcome may have been very different, and that's because I have made the conscious choice to pursue personal style over fashion. I no longer feel the need to shop just to shop, and instead am very mindful about my purchases, and as a result, I shop a lot less. So today, I want to share my tried and tested tips with you. My first tip is to get inspired. For this, I have a couple different recommendations, and the first is to fall back in love with the pieces that you already have. So to do that, I like to go up to my closet whenever I get the urge to shop and pull out an old favorite, something that I know I feel great in, something that has great memories tied to it, and something that I really love to wear. And then I'll mix and match it with other things in my wardrobe. I'll experiment with different colors and pattern combinations and silhouettes, and sometimes I'm able to come up with a completely new way of wearing that outfit that I'd never even thought of, and helps make it feel completely brand new. Now, let's say you have a little bit of a hard time kind of coming up with new ways to wear things that you already love. You fall back on the same old, then I definitely recommend turning to Pinterest for this. Pinterest is a great resource, and it's something that I recommend constantly on this channel. And personally, I have a couple boards dedicated to some of my all-time favorite wardrobe essentials. So like a striped t-shirt, a white shirt, and anytime I'm feeling uninspired by my closet, I will go to those boards and be reminded of all the ways I can wear that piece. Plus, I'm often shown outfits on those boards that are new to how I've been wearing it. So just by changing up, maybe tucking the shirt or tying the shirt, rolling the sleeves, popping the collar, something like that, I'm able to completely transform how the piece feels, and oftentimes curb my desire to shop because I realize that everything I want is already in front of me. Next is something that I've been doing for years, and it's been really helpful in curbing my desire to shop, and that is to keep a wish list and then not sway from it too far. So I have a running wish list over on my blog. I'll link it down below for you, and it has a couple items on it that I know I would love to have in my wardrobe. They're things that I've really taken the time to think about and really try to plan out with what I already have. They're silhouettes I know I like, they're colors I know I like, and they're things that go with everything else I already own. So anytime I get the urge to shop impulsively, I'll go back to my wish list and remind myself of all of the things I have my sights set on, and all of the thought and time that I put into cultivating that wish list. And it really helps me not lose track of the end goal, basically. So I'm less distracted by something trendy or something that someone else wore and looked fantastic in, and instead I'm able to stick to my own true personal style a little bit better. Before I restructured how I shop and really changed some of my habits, I would constantly be tempted by browsing. So I wouldn't necessarily have anything in mind, I wouldn't necessarily be wanting to shop, but as soon as I set foot in a mall or a shopping center or a store, or I browsed online, it was over. I would undoubtedly find something cute because that's the whole point of these retailers, and then find myself making impulse purchases that really didn't serve me any purpose. They weren't things I needed, and they certainly weren't things that I knew I was going to wear for many years. So my tip is to stop browsing just for fun. Instead, maybe redirect that energy into reading. If you feel like you kind of want to shop because you're bored, maybe volunteer or watch a new television show, pick up a new hobby. Maybe you can paint or take vocal lessons, something that will help redirect your energy so you're not filling the void with shopping. Along those same lines, it is imperative that you unsubscribe from any marketing emails that are constantly tempting you to shop, and then also unfollow anyone on social media that always is sharing hauls and maybe encouraging you to go out and buy the next best thing. I think that it's a very unhealthy cycle to get into, and if you personally have a problem with not shopping and it's something that you're trying to redirect in the new year and build healthier habits moving forward, that is a very easy step to take. I know that it can be hard because you kind of want to stay up to date on sales and all of that, but as soon as you make the choice to remove yourself from that, you don't miss it. And if you are taking the steps necessary to make thoughtful purchases and really plan out your items, then you'll be able to do that without a flash 30% off sale. So it's just a much healthier way to approach shopping, and I find it's very helpful to eliminate the temptation in the first place. You may also want to consider blocking some of the sites that you tend to go to frequently. So let's say Net-a-Porter is just it for you. Every time you go there, it's over. You're gonna buy something. Then block it. Block that site on your phone, on your desktop, on your laptop, and don't allow yourself the temptation. And I find that it can be very helpful to do that, because if you can't see something, then you can't buy something. So it's a really great way to just remove it entirely. My next tip is to practice the one in, one out rule. Essentially, this means that you can't bring anything new into your closet until you remove something from your closet. So you no longer just think you have an endless supply of clothes that you can buy, and instead you're really forced to take stock of what you have and really make sure that a purchase that you make is something that's worthy of the spot in your closet. And it's not something that you're buying because it was inexpensive, it seems cute, and it's something that you can wear once or twice, because to do that you'd have to get rid of something that you may really love. Before I personally made the switch to shopping more thoughtfully and shopping less, I had a overflowing closet that was very difficult to manage. I not only had a lot of things that I didn't wear, but I also couldn't find a lot of things that I liked to wear. So for me, it was really helpful to declutter and organize my closet. If you haven't taken the time to do it, I definitely recommend it. There are countless methods out there. I personally really like the KonMari method, though I tweak it ever so slightly for me. I'll link my posts on that down below for you. But definitely take the time to remove the clutter from your life. If you're left with only things that you really love to wear, then you'll be reminded of those pieces every time you open your closet, and you won't constantly be shopping because you think you have nothing to wear, but really it's just because you can't find what you like to wear. I am a firm believer in personal style over fashion, and I advocate regularly for cultivating your own unique personal style. I think it's something that is going to be 100% individual, and it's something that should be fun. So if you haven't taken the time to cultivate what that is for you, I definitely recommend doing so. I think the more firm you are in what you love to wear and what makes you feel great, what works for your lifestyle, the less likely you are to shop just to shop. And instead, you'll have a purpose, because you'll be so proud of yourself for cultivating something that can take you through the many chapters of your life that you won't want to let just anything in. You'll have a new value placed on your wardrobe and your closet, and I think it's a really helpful way to look at shopping and dressing in general. If you have a really hard time not shopping and it's something that requires drastic measures, then you may want to consider a no-buy spree. These are really popular lately, and I think it's a really great way to kind of jolt yourself into reality and really take stock of how often you're shopping. So essentially what you'll do is you'll designate a period of time, so a couple months or even a full year, I've seen some people do, and you won't shop during that window. And then anytime you feel a desire to shop, make a note of it. Take time to really understand how frequently you're shopping, and even track how much money you've been saving because you aren't buying superfluous items that you don't really need. Growing up, my dad used to always say, "You are your happiest while in pursuit of a worthwhile goal." And the older I get, the more true I realize that is. I personally love to set goals for myself. I like to set serious goals and non-serious goals, personal and professional goals. And I think they're a great way to kind of redirect your energy and your thinking. So instead of thinking, "I can't shop," think, "I can now do X." This goal setting doesn't even need to include a larger purchase, and instead it can just be something that betters you. So every time you get the urge to shop, maybe instead do a yoga class, or every time you get the urge to shop, read a book. Remind yourself of the goal you're in pursuit of, and that every time you turn down a purchase, the closer you are to making that goal a reality. If you'd like to see more videos like this, along with some of my top tips for doing more with less, I would love to have you subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.